Hi, I'm Ami Jain, and I'm in Bakocha right now. I always choose Africel's 4G network because it has the widest coverage and the fastest speeds.
Now, during those elections, who did you vote for? Serif
I
or
remember,
Jawara?
in fact, the fortunate thing is that I've never voted until 1992
Why that?
because just such. I mean, maybe I was careless. I didn't register. Maybe I was careless. I didn't register. It was in 1992 that I registered for the 1992 elections. Maybe I shouldn't have registered because maybe my voting at the 1990 elections led to the overthrow of Jawara.
Right.
Yeah.
How and where did the idea of UDP came about?
Actually, a group of people from GPP, from PPP, from NCP, and others got together that they must really form a party to stand up to the military regime because this was, in reality, a military government that decided to don civilian clothing. And amongst them were Keba Tambajame, Sam Silla, Kemi Senjame, and Mbemba Tambedu. Mbemba Tambedu, they were GPP. All of them, they got together and decided that they should have a party. And in fact, they worked on the constitution. I was away in not in Atlanta attending Olympic the Olympic. And I understand they looked for leaders, approached several people, and nobody was willing. And when I came, I was approached, and I really couldn't give any answer because I know that, like many other things, the opinion and views of family members are quite important,
Right.
particularly in that situation. If you have to face Jame, the repercussions, the negative repercussions would not be limited to only myself. Members of my family can suffer in it. So I had to consult them to really give their blessing. Even if they said they do not support it, I would just have kept it because I know that when the chips are down, I'll be left with my family. That I was convinced about. So when I was approached and I couldn't give an answer until when I got the go ahead from the family members both in the Gambia and abroad. So that is how I found UDP really formed, but without a leader. And I became leader. And of course, having become the leader, I had to look at the document, the constitution, to at least bring to it my legal mind. And that was then that also it was also then that decided on a name. And Bemba Tamedu, myself, and I think Sidi Asanya and Keba Jame. I think we tussled with a lot of names, and then we came up with that. The emblem was Bemba Tamedu's idea, the handshake. That's it. Since we said united, a handshake, at least symbolically, is one of unity. So we agreed on it, and then also uh, agreed on the yellow, the golden yellow. Which in our view is optimizes. The the maturity of food, maturity of fruits, because when they are matured for eating, that's the time they turn the color turns yellow. And the toe is not yellow, but golden yellow.
Golden, yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you raise funds for the United Democratic Party?
How did I respond?
Raise funds for the United Democratic Party.
From our pockets. Each time I ask this question, I get a little bit emotional. You see, I have liquidated assets that I should left for my children to inherit. Yes, I did that. So, and of course, there are a couple of people. See, my friend and elder brother, Dr. Sisi, has really pumped in a lot of his resources. Not only his resources, but his professional skills to look after our people in times of great need. They have a Alhaji Kante. He also did, and people thought that we were getting funding from outside. No, it is recently, I think from 2013. Well, let me say that. Well, 2013, that there has been this organized thing from Gambians in diaspora after the rally meeting. And prior to that, our people in France, the chapter in France and the chapter in New York, yes, they were helping us. But to come in a big way, what I would call in a big way, I don't know how to describe them, the educated.
Yeah.
The educated Gambians in the diaspora, I think, started coming in 2013.
Right.
But before that, it was the uneducated ones in Bronx, in New York, and in Paris. Yes.
So you mentioned two people who have contributed immensely. How about Sir Suleiman Chag? We understand that he contributed
He was.
$1 million. Was that true? That he contributed?
I cannot quantify how much Sir Suleiman Jack has contributed.
But it's more than $1 million.
I cannot quantify it. It was, he certainly, was one person, who was contributing virtually on a monthly basis. Virtually on a monthly basis. He was one of our greatest funders, if not the greatest, single individual. He was. And he did it with great, happiness. With great happiness.
Is that why her daughter is the Speaker of the House of Parliament?
Her daughter is not Speaker of the House National Assembly because of that. We would have Dr. Sisi or his family would have been equally, because she's just competent. You need somebody with a legal background as Speaker of the National Assembly, and not only that, but she was part of the struggle. It's just not. No, it's not that she was because of her family association. No, she was a founding member of the United Democratic Party, and has contributed in several ways to surging the political fortunes of the United Democratic Party. So you can't have someone better. And in any case, show me someone who is more competent and more committed politically than her. Show me anyone more competent than her.
Now, I have to take you back to Wajuara's case, because this interview, we said you enabled Jammeh to stay in power because, as you put it, you blocked the opposition. You ran for 4 times. You ran for 2 consecutive times. You could not defeat Jammeh, yet you continue to challenge Jammeh in elections. Did you enable Jammeh to stay in power, as was put it?
Well, I don't know what the word enablers mean. Anyway, let me say this. Who contributed towards shaping Jammeh's policies? Who sat with him in cabinet? please, who sat with him in cabinet to promote his policies and agreed with him, discussed with him what policies should be designed for these policies that we have condemned. Who served him as governor to really scuttle our provincial administration, to misuse the local government administration? Who served him as member of the Brikama Area Council, having their mouths on the honeycomb? Who did that? Are those not the enablers? Please. You see, when people ask this question, I don't want to ask because, I think Wajwara is so irrelevant. He's so irrelevant politically that, speaking about him, you really be wasting your time. And you do not have to, I don't have to waste my time on addressing irrelevant or responding to people who are irrelevant.
Right.
I mean, people who could not really, hold a rally. People who claim themselves to be political leaders, they could not even hold a rally. These are the people that are described as having a party whose number is less than that of the Gambia Red Cross Society. Let them. I don't want to address those issues. Let us deal with issues that concern the Gambia.
I know you don't want to belabor this case, but we have to discuss one question on this thing. He said the reason why he joined Jammeh was to undermine him. You talk about the cabinet, he served as a governor of West Coast and said, but he said if he did not join Jammeh, he would not know what was inside to undermine Jammeh.
Well, we have opposed Jammeh genuinely and have been very persistent in our opposition to him, and we know what was going in his cabinet, what was going in the government without joining him. And from outside, we fought him and we defeated him. You see, the NAD fiasco, because those are the things that they are referring to, it's because they are the ones. They would never want to see Ousainou Darboe lead them. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And he thought that all this shouted of Mbaro, he thought it was something personal to him. But when he left UDP, he became, so unknown. He became so unpopular. And that is what forced him, in order to be on the limelight again, that is what forced him to go and join Jammeh. And join the Jammeh to do the worst things for the country. He went on television and applauded the execution of the people in the Gambia here. Who would say better enabler? He applauded that Jammeh was doing the right thing. I think, really, people should really, when we are discussing serious things, serious political issues about the Gambia, I don't think anyone should really think of what Juara has said or what Juara could say. I mean, he's quite irrelevant. Really, really irrelevant.
Do you have some personal problems aside from politics? Because he told me that when he graduated from the college, he was posted in Bansang. But at the time, your father was a politician, like you said. It's not as Numukunda was a politician. And he mentioned certain things, and we understand, like, in a caste system. Do you have that problem? Because they just said you don't recognize them because they are low caste.
Well, you see, I didn't know Juara before he went into politics, before he went in as an independent candidate. That's the time I know him. And I have never had any interaction with him until he was released from prison. And let me say that UDP, he owes that to UDP because for the 1997 National Assembly election, we made it a condition that UDP will never participate in that National Assembly election until all those detained, MC Cham, OJ, Ousainou Njai, Wajwaro, until they are released. Otherwise, we will not participate. So we fought for their release, for his release. And for caste system, I do not believe in caste system.
You do not believe.
And I just believe that these are things, that our society has created. But I also say that, honestly, in the traditional Mandinka society, the the blacksmith would pound his chest and say, look, I'm the son of a blacksmith. My mother is blacksmith, my father is blacksmith. So I will not get into anything that is ignominious. That, for me, is just tradition. Because I do not think, in fact, it's not a question of think, I do not believe that a jeweler, son of a jeweler, will attain higher place in heaven than the son of a griot. I don't believe that. I know that in our family, people have married into griots, and griots have married into our family. So I do not look that. So maybe he has that. How do I say it? He has that complex about himself. He thinks that, oh, you see, because they think that, I belong to this caste, so I cannot be anything. Maybe he's be bothered by that. If that was so, why would he have really give him place of prominence in the United Democratic Party?
Now, moving on to another former UDP member, Osman Rambo Jata. He said he was aware of UDP officials engaged in a visa for sale deals, from which Amadou Sane was tried and jailed. Is that true?
Well, as far as I know, Ahmad Sane was never involved in any visa.
That was part of, he said they were involved. And
I said Ahmad Sane was not, and I went Krambo to say who and who were involved in visa thing. Probably he did, as when he was national youth president of the party. Maybe he did, unbeknown to us. Yeah, maybe he did. But Amadou was not involved in any visa deal at all. What Amadou did was to give attestation to someone who was seeking asylum. And of course, we all know that what was happening in the country here, we all know about it. Yeah? In fact, the person he did comes from Bantanto, one of the areas that is strongly anti-Jame. And of course, we know that there was a gentleman, in fact, not only a gentleman, but people, including the candidate who lost for GDC, for Janjambur Area Council. There are people who were terrorizing residents of Bantanto, Dabankunda, Mabadi, because they have shown absolute rejection for APRC. And of course, what Ahmad Ahmad said was in that document was that, according to what these persons told me, this is what he has been suffering. Okay. And tell me, Amadou, with his profession, all that, we did get any capacity, why would he get involved in any visa deals? He has under his employment more than 8 people working for him and paying them. So, see, these are the things that they think they can say in order to tarnish UDP's image. We know people who have been involved in this visa scam and have not been able to make it. We know that the victims go to court, go to police, and I've never heard, and no will ever happen for any UDP official to be taken to court.
Did you believe that you will come out of mile 2 alive?
Well, I had always prayed to God that I should go out of the prison alive, and I'm also convinced that the Almighty, my Creator, has enjoined us to supplicate and beg Him, and He will really respond. He will answer. So I believe that I would go out, and I believe that I would go out, alive. I wouldn't go out, and I wouldn't go out dead. That I believed in, because one thing I know that the government would be very careful of, to make sure that nothing happens to us, because it could lead to social, unrest and further international isolation.
Apparently, Barrow was not your first choice as UDP candidate. But they said Dr. Aissatou Toure was your choice of candidate to run for 2016 presidential election. Why that?
Dr. Aissatou Toure was not a UDP choice. So it is wrong to say that Dr. Aissatou Toure was a UDP choice. When we are in prison, we are told that whether we can support, some UDP people asked whether we can support Dr. Aissatou Toure's candidature. And of course, then there was nothing about President Adama Barrow.
Yeah.
This was in June, during our trial. There was nothing about President Adama Barrow. And certainly, we felt that we cannot let Yahya Jammeh go unopposed. And said, well, we can give him our support. And that the UDP executive should really decide whether or not they will adopt it. Yeah. So it was not a UDP choice. I think that is wrong.
Okay, people say there is an ancient cause that people from Darboe, your home village, do not become rulers. What is the origin of this myth?
Well, I don't know. Those who say it, I think they are in a better position really to explain that. Honestly. Because you want to tell me something as great as leadership that anyone would cause his family not to be a leader. You want to believe that? So the people who say it, I think they should really explain. I have never heard of that. What I have told is anyone, particularly service people, those in uniform, who goes to Darboe to torment the people, to cause problem for them, you will regret it. They've prayed for that, and that has happened. People who have attempted to do it, or in fact, people who have done that, have seen the consequences.
So it's wrong to say rulers, not the rulers, but the security personnel.
Well, even rulers,
Okay.
even rulers. For instance, if a commissioner, in fact, commissioners, it started with commissioners, administrative commissioners, who went there, and misbehaved to the people. It has happened to chiefs. It has happened to policemen. It has happened to badge messengers.
Mr. Darboe, why did you become foreign minister, not vice president or speaker of the house? Who choose what? For that, who choose what and why?
Well, the president chooses who should be in what portfolio. And certainly, I cannot question his choice of speaker, his choice of vice president, and his choice of foreign minister. And one day I want to say that I'm really very happy for being foreign minister. I'm enjoying my work as foreign minister, and I am not sure if I want to change that. If I want to change that job.
Okay, but Barrow always said you are you are the godfather. Do you have any input in that decision making? Who should go where?
Well, you see, I think President Barrow would do his consultations when he finds it necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think that can be predicated on being a political father.
Okay.
I think President Barrow can consult any member of the cabinet, any senior civil servant, and even any member of or any party in the coalition. Yes, I think he can consult them. So it should not be. It cannot be on my being his political father, and in any case, he consults whom he wants to consult.
You were on record as saying you want Barrow to serve 5 years instead of the 3 years as agreed by the coalition. Do you still maintain that position?
It's not what I want. It's what the law says. It's as simple as that. Look, when you went to the vote, I'm sure you voted.
Yes, I did.
And when you went to the poll, did you vote to change to elect a president for 3 years? You voted to elect a president for this period stipulated by the constitution. Yeah. So why should people talk about 3 years, 4 years, 2 years? Let us just be focused and please, now that all the elections are over, let us now all be corporate, focus on carrying the nation forward, on making sure that the mandates that have been given to us, we execute those mandates properly. The confidence reposed in the members of the National Assembly on both sides, all of the members of the National Assembly. Let us ensure that that confidence, is not betrayed. Let us work for the good of the country. All those who are in the cabinet, let us please work hard to ensure that the agenda that the president is putting forward enshrined in the National Development Plan, we have it implemented for the good of the country. So for the councillors, and forget about 3 years, 4 years. I don't know why people are eager for another election. 3 years? I don't know why they are so eager for it. We cannot be going for elections every year.
All right.
2016 national presidential, 2016 National Assembly, 2017. 2018 area council, local government and area council. So you want 2020 also presidential election. I don't know why we should be so eager for that. Yeah.
I have been reliably informed that you had a strained relationship with President Barrow because UDP people feel that Barrow wants to set up his own party, while Barrow wants to set up his own political party, and we did not go down well with the UDP people.
Well, again, let me say this quite honestly. You see, what people want to see happen about detractors, Barrow's detractors and my detractors, what they would want to see happen is what they are peddling about. That is what they really wish. They really want to see that there's rift between the president and UDP. They want to see that there's a rift between these three leaders. And as the Mandinkas will say, it is a bust eye that will see that.
Right. I have a similar interview with Darboe by force, and he said, what came from UDP is UDP, which means Barrow is UDP. Do you have any strange relationship with Barrow, Mr. Darboe?
This is what I'm saying. That's what people wish. That's what people wish.
That's what people. But
But that is what people wish. So they are just saying what they wish. I mean, my relationship with Barrow at both official and personal level, is so cordial. And maybe people want to see that mad, and they will never say that. They want to see that mad. They'll never see that. Barrow is the president of this country, and the UDP, as a constituent member of the coalition, will stand by Barrow at all costs. And even if all others are against him, we will not be against him. We'll go with him because, after all, he was chosen from among the UDP ranks. So, for UDP, Barrow is our Barrow. When I say this, some people get annoyed. They say, well, we elected him. Yes, we all elected him. But it's our Barrow. It is our Barrow. And it's our Barrow, and we will never abandon our Barrow. We'll never abandon him. Come rain, come sunshine, whatever.
The Voice newspaper once reported that you said you will be the next president of the Gambia. His Excellency. Is it not a fait accompli? Why do you believe so?
I can't remember making that statement. And I really want to see that newspaper, that publication, because, you see, from 1996 up to now, I have never predicted the future. I have never said, in fact, that I would be a candidate for the party. I have always told interviewers that leadership of the United Democratic Party is not the same as being the presidential candidate for the United Democratic Party. You could be leader of the party, without being the presidential candidate. And I do not know who will be chosen as a presidential candidate. That has always been my responses to questions. And I've always said that for the future, we leave the future to determine itself. I will not today say what will happen in 2021 or subsequent to 2021. I will not.
Now, will you contest in the next elections as presidential candidate?
I think I've just answered that question, that I will not predict the future. After all, it is the people of the United Democratic Party that determine. And what I'm saying is that, look, we have a government and there's an agenda. We have a mandate. Why don't we pursue that mandate? Why don't we really work in order to tell the Gambians that the mandate we have given was really one that those who exercise the mandate deserve it. We do not want to talk about who becomes the next presidential candidate. That is derailing our minds. That is really making you occupy, with petty things. When the bigger thing, that is the national agenda, the support for the Barrow administration, the support for it should be really our focus now. And that will be our focus.
Now, in the envisaged constitutional change, it will be the first place likely to replace with the 50 plus 1 for election to presidential. That will be, if a party did not get 50 plus 1, you will not be qualified. So, will that favor your party, United Democratic Party?
Well, let me say that whatever the Gambians think should be in the constitution, we believe that will favor the United Democratic Party. Because what we want is a constitution that will allow the United Democratic Party as a party to operate without hindrance.
So, for the sake of sanity, in the democratic system, don't you think that campaign financials should be negotiated or regulated, you can say?
Well, I don't know. I don't know regulated. I don't know regulated in what sense. Is it regulated in the amounts that you get, or regulated in the manner of its usage? I don't know. But I would certainly support such a move if it's going to be from state funds.
Right.
But really, money that I generate by liquidation of my assets, why should anybody want to regulate how I use that or how much I raise? Why should anybody want to regulate that? I don't think that would be right. But if it's funds that are provided by the state, yes, it should be regulated. It should not be misused. You make sure that it's applied for its purpose and for its genuine purpose, and that you do not fake documents, to try to explain, how you spend it. But money coming from my own pocket, why should anybody regulate that?
When you were released from prison, you said you forgive people who did wrong. Does this include Jammeh?
Now, if I specifically said Jammeh,
Right.
I specifically said Jammeh that what he did to me personally, not what he did to other people, not what he did to other members of the United Democratic Party, but what he did to me personally, I forgave him.
So what do you
because when I was getting into politics, in fact, my first interview with BBC, when I declined my candidature, I did say that I am aware of the vicissitudes and the risks involved in politics. And I knew that when I took on Jammeh, I knew that one of the places that I'm likely to end up in is in prison. So it didn't come to me as a surprise. In fact, he had tried several times to get me into prison, and failed. But this time he could do it because we didn't have the judges that were upholding their oaths of office.
What do you think should happen to Jammeh now?
I think the evidence should determine that. Let us get the facts.
So if the facts are there?
If the facts are there, then it is certainly be brought in to explain. So, yeah.
Finally, Mr. Darboe, what is your vision for the new Gambia?
Well, my vision for the new Gambia is President Adama Barrow's vision of the new Gambia. Because in this new Gambia, President Adama Barrow is the leader. And it is his vision that we all should uphold and help realize that vision.
Finally, what will be your message to the general public?
Please, let us all support. Let us be critical of our government, but let us also not be destructive. Let us support. This is what is needed. After all, we cannot all be on the same level in views. We cannot be of the same views. But then, generally, we should all agree that there is need for us to support the administration and that we should not abuse our new-won freedom, because that will lead us to a state of anarchy. You should not give the administration any opportunity to really do things that it never wants to do. But then, if people also want to behave in ways that are not consistent with the proper exercise of their democratic rights, the government owes an obligation to society to make sure that people conform. So what I ask everyone is that, look, let us support our administration. It is ours. And that President Adama Barrow is really for everyone, irrespective of your political affiliation, irrespective of your ethnic background, and irrespective of your social status. And people, should really see him as a president for all of us, and not just for one section of the community.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darboe, for your time.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Ousainou, and I'm in Bakoto right now. I always choose Africell's 4G network because it has the widest coverage and the fastest speeds. Let me show you why I always choose Africell's 4G. I have two phones. One with the 4G SIM card from Africell with the 4G network. The other 4G SIM card from another network. Let's do a speed test and see the difference. Wow, I'm getting full coverage from Africell with speeds of 69.68 megabytes per second. The other network, 3.35 megabytes. This is just proof that Africell has the widest coverage and the fastest speed. By far the fastest.
Hurry now and go replace your Africell SIM cards with the real 4G SIM card.
Where Africell goes, no one has the speed to follow.